Detikers, gue lagi di program The Happening bareng Esti dan Ariel. Oke, jadi aktor Indonesia sedang berlomba-lomba untuk menunjukkan kemampuan mereka di dunia perfilman Hollywood. Salah satu yang jadi perbincangan utama adalah Joe Taslim berkat aktingnya yang memukau di Fast and Furious 6. Nah, kali ini ada lagi nih aktor Indonesia yang jadi hot topic karena beradu akting dengan bintang Hollywood, bahkan sampai ngancurin Candi Prambanan. Siapa lagi kalau bukan Iko Uwais.
Nah, pas banget nih Detikers, di The Happening kali ini kita akan bahas film Hollywood yang salah satu pemeran utamanya berasal dari Indonesia.
Iya, benar banget.
Sebelum kita bahas lebih lanjut, yuk kita saksikan trailer berikut ini.
Sorry to drag you down here, man. Son of a bitch. There he is. I know it's been tough on both of you since Rose passed.
You are so much smarter than this. Christ knows you didn't get that from me. Everyone all right?
This is 87 westbound. Can you hear me?
The hell was that? What the
It was a light. I can't explain it. It took everyone.
Oh my God.
Where's the attack?
Do exactly as I say. Move.
Listen to me. You help me find my son. I'll help everyone.
We defend this tunnel or we die.
We do this together. I have to find my son.
Oke Detikers, jadi tadi kita udah menyaksikan trailer dari film Beyond Skyline. So, gimana trailernya? Seru banget kan? Apalagi ada adegan yang menghancurkan Candi Prambanan yang jadi kayak bikin kita makin penasaran dan bertanya-tanya mengenai filmnya.
Nah, Esti, gimana kalau kita langsung aja ngobrol sama sutradara dan produser dari film Beyond Skyline.
Oke.
Please welcome Liam O'Donnell dan Matthew E Chausse. Welcome to Jakarta. Is this your first time? This is not your first time in Jakarta, is it?
No, we've been here probably 3 or 4 times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So how long have you been in Jakarta this time?
This is day 3.
But still hot, right?
Still like mixed together, you know? Like,
A little.
But are you enjoying the food and the weather?
always.
Yeah,
always.
we like I said, we first came to Indonesia in 2014 when we were scouting for our
Yes.
movie, and we wrapped in 2015, but we still come back. We have a lot of friends now because of the crew,
Yeah.
and we're working on new projects to film here as well.
Filming.
You're always welcome in Jakarta.
Thank you for letting us in.
Alright, okay guys, so let's start the movie Beyond
do it.
Skyline.
Yeah.
Okay, so why it takes so long to make the sequel since the first movie was released on 2010, right?
It's basically my fault.
Oh,
Why it took
really?
so long.
Okay.
The first movie, about 2 or 3 years after that, we had interest from people, but you get into contract negotiations on money to write the script, and eventually I just got frustrated and said, I'll just write the script myself, on my own if I can direct it. And Greg and Colin, who are the owners of Hydraulics Visual Effects and directed the first one, they'd already moved on to other projects, and they said, yeah, great, go ahead and do it. So within that year of 2013 to 2014, I wrote the script. Matthew came on to produce with me. We developed it, and then we started, getting cast and everything together at the end of 2014. So then from there, what's taken so long is the movie is, it's a very modest budget for what, the visuals are and the scope of the story is, and it's a lot of visual effects. And so those visual effects just took a lot of time and work on a very small but talented crew of hydraulics visual effects in Vancouver and Los Angeles. And we basically finished the movie earlier this year, and we are set for a fall release.
All right, at least we know that it's all your fault.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And not mine.
Get ready to say sorry to your fans.
Sorry.
Okay.
So Liam, in 2012, you wrote and produced the first movie, right? Skyline?
Yes.
So were there any specific reasons why you also decided to direct this one?
I think I'd always wanted to, make that leap eventually,
Yeah.
but I wanted to make sure it was in a situation I was comfortable with. And I think getting to direct for your first time a sequel, especially a sequel to something you intimately knew,
Right.
like I did the first
Yeah.
movie, was a big leg up. We had already done so much visual development. We'd established the aliens, the world, the rules. And so it seemed like an ideal place for me to kind of take the reins and do something a little different.
So this was the first movie that you directed?
First movie I directed, kind of the first, I'd done a bunch of crappy, low budget stuff when I first got out of school. And then I really focused on producing and writing, and then this was the first, real kind of stepping in and doing directing on my own. But I knew what I needed, which was I needed to have a lot of talented people around me. It started with my producer, and then from cast to DP to editor, I really relied on my whole team.
But one thing I need to add is every director we've ever spoken to or producer thinks that he's crazy to do a movie this big for his first movie. It's
Yeah.
like everything, you do like on your fourth movie, so.
Yeah, we did. I did just kind of jump into the deep end and drown for a number of years,
Yeah.
but we've surfaced, and there's a movie for
We've
everyone to
survived
see.
for everyone to see.
And it's exciting to see how you go from here.
Yeah.
Because the first movie you direct is as big as this one, right?
Thank you. I hope so. I figure, God willing, more down the road.
All right, Iko Uwais and Yayan Ruhian also involved in this movie, right? So
That's right.
Do you guys have any specific reasons why you choose them?
Well, why wouldn't you want Iko and Yayan in any movie you ever did, right? I mean, that's first off.
I mean, they chose us. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like we didn't think it was possible at all. We came to Indonesia and we knew they were on another project, and the roles were much smaller than they are now. And once we heard there was an opportunity, we flew right to Jakarta. We met with their management, and
We actually called Maya from Mereka and said, we're going to be in Jakarta next week. Can we meet for lunch? And she said, yes. And then we bought tickets to Jakarta.
yes, we waited for
Went
them
right
forever.
there.
Like, we're like on hotels.com, like ding ding ding, okay, they're like okay, like meet us right next door.
Yeah.
And then we left. So it was great. And within a week, he met us in. They both met us in Georgia, and we started like within minutes. We're in a
So
rice
it doesn't
paddy.
plan at all, right? Just about that you come to Jakarta and also meet, Yayan Ruhian and also Iko Uwais, something like that.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So how do you guys see Iko and Yayan both as actors? Are there any stories that you want to let us know about behind the scenes, how they are as persons, and
They're amazing.
Yeah,
They're
we would like to say that, there's the expression, don't meet your heroes, but
Right.
they're exactly what you want them to be as fans. And I started as just a fan, I saw
Yeah.
The Raid in the theaters, and The Raid 2,
Yeah.
I just watched right before we came here to scout. And so they're incredibly humble, hardworking, and I think the thing people don't know is how hilarious they are.
very funny.
Always joking with each other and the whole team. Which the Uwais team of like Very and Yandi
Yeah.
and all those guys, they bring just it's professional, but it's fun.
Yeah.
And that's every day on set with them.
And hardworking. They push the crew to work harder, and they're not. They don't act like Hollywood stars. They just sit with everybody
Yeah.
and treat everybody normally, and it gave a great family atmosphere. I couldn't thank them enough.
But as actors, I would say I like to think of Yayan as he's like a classic Western actor. Like I think he'd be right at home in like a Clint Eastwood movie from the 70s or 60s, like a
Yeah.
spaghetti Western. The camera just loves his face. It's so distinct and intense.
Yeah.
And I think Iko could kind of do anything. He's a lead action star. We sometimes joke like, oh, the next Jackie Chan or the next Tony
Yeah.
Jaa, but I think he's just Iko Uwais, and we're going to see him do a bunch of different roles in the future. I'd love to see him do something like on a comedic side for kids, because he does have a very sweet nature to him that I think children would love if they got to more exposed maybe a little less blood in the future, you know?
Yeah.
Is there any challenges that you face as a producer of Beyond Skyline? Please tell us.
Not at all.
No, I mean, you know, it was pretty easy to make. So. Outside of like bringing crew to a foreign country they've never been to language differences, to finding locations that are very hard to get to, and crew safety. Luckily, we're so fortunate. We went to beautiful parts of Indonesia. No one got hurt. We were very fortunate. I think one of the biggest challenges is making people believe in the movie we're making. You know, it's we know how hard we're working for it, but they don't know. So you know, it's hard to. The biggest challenge is explaining how long things take and what to expect once it's finished.
Okay, what about you, Leo?
Well, just to expand on that, like that was the challenge in the beginning, but I did feel like, especially as a first-time director, the Indonesian crew like had my back from the very beginning, and they were so excited about it. And because it was a sequel to a movie that was divisively, you know, received around the world, it was a big boost of confidence for me to have these kids. They were making their own Beyond Skyline hats and T-shirts. Yeah. I'd get in the truck in the morning and they were like, I made my Beyond Skyline mix to the music. So it made it feel like family to me, and it made it feel like, oh, they get it, and they really believe in it. Even to this day, you know, our biggest supporters across the internet and everything, it's all of our Indonesian fans. And that's why this is the, you know, where we flew out to promote the movie. This is the most important place for us. We want everyone here to love this, because if they do, I think it just spreads to the rest of the world.
That's really nice.
Also, he's never seen a movie in Jakarta, a movie theater.
No,
they're some of the best in the world, so why
Yeah.
not see his movie in one of the best movie theaters in the world?
Okay.
Okay, so let's talk about the scene that's causing a lot of uproar on social media. I'm sure you guys know
Yeah.
that scene, which scene
Yeah.
that is. But we want to talk about that scene where the aliens came to Prambanan and
Okay.
attacked that temple. And
Okay, so that's the finale of the film.
Right.
So I wrote the film before we had ever been to Indonesia for the ending, and I was trying to write it in a personal way that I could understand the characters there and make it mean something to me, so that it wasn't just, oh, we crashed somewhere kind of cool and different and something happens there. And so my wife is from Laos, and I have heard so many different stories from there. Her sister, my sister-in-law, lives in Luang Prabang now. And so that was an idea that I kind of, you know, glommed onto and started building it, and it just helped the script. It got very specific on the past of the characters that we found there, that, you know, the bunkers that they were living in were built during the Vietnam, and actually over there it's called the American War. And that's why they were able to survive an alien invasion from ships above, because during that war you have all these planes dropping all these bombs and you need to go underground. So that's where the kind of the seed was. And that's why we shot in places like Sri Gathuk Waterfall, because the rice paddies up there have a very Vietnam, Laos, like Southeast Asian look to them. And so we wanted it to be a very remote location up there, that we take a journey through the jungle and we come to like a forgotten ruin. And because our aliens attack population clusters, they attack cities first, because that's where the most amount of people are. And so for us to survive and get away from them, our heroes have to get really far and really remote. So we wanted to have it be an ancient ruin, so we weren't really using Prambanan for Prambanan, because that's in the middle of a city. You know, if you turn the camera this way, you have a city right there.
Yeah.
So we were using it kind of in a fictional location that we were going to embellish a little bit more in post-production and put little like vines over the temples. And what we did do is put Sewu and Prambanan together, and we made it feel like they're on the top of a mountain kind of farther away. And the reference that we could use is like in Indiana Jones and the Lost Crusade, that end temple is actually a real temple in Jordan, but they kind of fibbed it for Alexandretta. So that's where we set up our our final siege and battle, which lasts a pretty long time in the end of the movie. And it worked really, really well visually, but we were going to do even more to it, and it just, the cost overruns the visual effects. We kind of had to go with a simpler look, and it does very much look like Prambanan and Sewu kind of just crunched together.
Yeah, it's joined together.
Were there any specific reasons for choosing Prambanan above other temples in the area?
The visual like layout of them is really interesting in the way that it was going to look to me with creatures of the size that we have. If you saw a little bit in the trailer, you can see the bigger monster fight. It almost feels like a city without being a city. And so, yeah, they also worked with us and were very, very, amazing to us to allow us to film there. And our incredible crew of Vico, Elza, and John secured this location for us, and it all just worked out really well.
That's really cool.
Matthew, how do you see Indonesia potential for movie industry, especially with this kind of genre?
I mean, I see tons of potential.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, our whole crew that worked on our film was all filmmakers or love film. It was, from the person driving us all the way to the camera person. Everyone talked about movies, talked about music. We'd all talk about movies in the way to set and what, everyone had their opinions about their favorite film. And so I see it's a very artistic culture and in the storytelling. And, as time goes by, movies are a new way of telling stories, whether it's on your phone or in a movie theater or on TV. So, and Indonesians have been telling, stories verbally for, thousands of years. So it's the next step is just bringing with technology, bringing the methods, a lot of our crew got to learn so much more because we brought these suits that no one's made a movie with alien suits, and they got to learn how to work with this. So I only expect that the next, 2-3 years, you're going to start seeing these different types of films that, are only local Indonesian films that will go worldwide that people will enjoy.
Okay, maybe do you have any plan to produce another movie in Indonesia for the next project?
I knew that one was coming.
Okay, I'll be waiting for that.
Right away, we, while we were here, we actually came up with, just because we got to shoot some martial arts, I came up with an idea right away to do a real big sci-fi martial arts film in Indonesia, and that's something that we've been working on for the past 2 years. And then at the same time, we've started working on an original Indonesian story with screenplay that would be the first sort of creature film out of Indonesia with all Indonesia crew and actors called Giganto that we're developing here right now in Jakarta with a really talented team of writers and some pretty exciting talent.
It's exciting. It's
on board. So
we plan on shooting that in July.
Okay.
So total local Indonesian film, all Indonesian actors. We'll be the only non-Indonesian.
Yeah, the only bules on set.
Yeah,
It's exciting.
it's really exciting. We're extremely excited. We can't wait.
And so let's go back to Beyond Skyline.
Yeah.
Could you talk to us about when the movie will be released, the premieres, and where will this be all released worldwide? And
Well, just yesterday, October 26th, it premiered in Russia, and it's coming out in a bunch of different Eastern European countries right now. Tonight in Jakarta is the Jakarta premiere, our gala premiere, and it'll be November 1st all across Indonesia through Cinema 21. And then we are in Thailand,
Thailand,
Middle East, Hong Kong, and then our big English-speaking release is December 15th in the United States, the UK, Ireland, Canada, Australia, and that's going to be theatrical, VOD, and digital, and then in January our Blu-rays and DVDs start coming out.
So most of the world will see, it's kind of a progression theatrically. We're starting in Russia and Indonesia, and then working our way across the globe, and then once December 15th comes, it's most of Europe and English-speaking territories, and then a couple like Japan and Korea later in January and February. So most of the world will have seen it by the new year.
so you have an exciting couple of months ahead of you.
Yeah, we're just really fortunate. You know, we finally get to show people our movie.
The last 2 weeks I've been in Sitges, Spain, Toronto, and now we're here. So and then right next week we're going to Italy to another film festival to show the fans there.
Fun.
So
it's
exciting.
great.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we give you the last question, I would like guys to know that after this you are going to do a challenge. So get yourself ready. Okay, last question now. So is there any Indonesian actor that you guys want to work for the next upcoming project?
Well, I mean, just in general, there's a really
Yeah.
exciting group of actors, and we've gotten to meet a couple of them just through mutual friends. And I went to see the Headshot premiere in TIFF last year. We both went there and met Chelsea Islan
Wow.
and Julia
Okay.
Estelle.
Wow.
And I was lucky to have dinner with Joe Taslim last year when he was in town shooting for Star Trek Beyond. So there's definitely an exciting group of
Yeah.
talented actors in Indonesia. There's a couple others that we're friends with that just completed Buffalo Boys, Mike Willan's debut. So yeah, we're really excited about all the different talent that's coming out of here.
Alright. Okay, so we are gonna get ourselves ready for the challenge, guys. Okay, mana nih?
Cookie Monsters?
Property.
So where are we going?
Okay guys, so we are gonna do fast cookie challenge, and here are the rules. So you have to grab the cookie, put on your forehead, and move it like this to your mouth, and whoever gets the cookie first to your mouth is the winner. Okay? You can do this, right?
We get to eat it after, right?
Yeah, of course. Okay, so let's do this. All right.
I need some music.
Yeah.
All right.
Is someone gonna count out when we go?
I'm gonna count it. 1, 2, 3, go! Oh my god, this is pretty hard.
If it falls off, you get to grab another cookie.
Oh,
Cookie
okay.
All right, 2 down. Go.
Oh, okay, it's drop again.
My glasses is in the way.
Wow, okay.
All right, so the winner gets the cookie. We're sorry, we don't have any prizes set up for,
That's all
for
right.
this
This was
challenge.
a prize enough.
Prize
Yes.
enough. Thank you.
Oreo in Indonesia,
Yeah.
right? So, because you guys did the challenge that we asked you to, we'll give you time to promote the movie and to tell anything to our audience here. Anything you want to say?
weren't gonna give it to it?
No.
I didn't get the cookie? Wow. Yeah, well, we just hope everybody gets to see the movie. We're super excited that it's coming to Indonesia before everybody else. And, we made it here with Indonesians, for Indonesians, and, it would just mean the world to us for you guys to go and check it out.
Yeah, and tell all your friends once you see it. Like,
Oke. So, sekian untuk The Happening kali ini. Sampai jumpa di episode selanjutnya. Bye-bye!